Hi, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's been raining cats and dogs for the last 3 weeks, and we got 6 inches a couple of weeks ago. Last week we got 4.5 inches. This week we got 5 inches so far. We're supposed to get another inch or two tomorrow, but you never know. So I'm going to do an unboxing this fall. Usually I don't do them other in the spring, but bought a lot of seed this fall. So and I bought off one place from Haas Tools. It is getting time to start planting some seeds in the fall, especially transplant seeds. Here is our for Jefferson County. Is that showing it?
I don't know how it's gonna come through.
Okay. Anyway, I'll go over it just a minute. If you're gonna grow bush beans, you want to put from April 1st to September 20th, and beets are from May 15th to November 1st. But I will say for us, if you plant beets in the fall, you're not going to be harvest them till the spring. They just kind of hold over throughout the winter. They would come earlier, but I've not had. And other people have. Some people in Central Texas have. I tried to plant them early, tried to plant them late. It just didn't seem to matter. Broccoli, it's easier to grow broccoli in the fall in Texas than it is in the spring. You want to start planting the seeds for the transplants from August 15th to October 1st, and that's planting in the ground, planting in the seed trays, because you're going to want to start them inside. As soon as they sprout, want to bring them outside, give them a good bit of sun, probably give them some afternoon shade. You don't want to give them too hot. They'll struggle along, and then they'll finally start making and produce. And I produce really good crops. Sometimes they come off in December, and like I say, they nice pretty heads. The only thing you have to worry about is getting that early hard freeze, and that can knock them out. They can handle freeze up until the time they start producing the heads. Brussels sprouts, I don't grow Brussels sprouts, but it's September 1st to October 1st for seed those. Cabbage, September 1st to November 15th. Carrots is October 1st to November 1st, so plant it in October. And the good thing about that is those carrots will come up, they'll kind of sit there. They'll be your first carrots to make. They'll also be sweeter because they're starting to root up during the cooler parts of spring. Do not expect those carrots to make before winter. They're going to make that next year. If you plant carrots in the spring, the only good thing you have about them is they tend not to bolt on you. If you plant them in the fall of the year, they will bolt earlier. So because they're a biennial, so they went through one winter and then they're ready to seed out. So that can be a problem. If you plant them later, they never go through the winter, so they're not going to. I got some now that I planted last spring. They're still, still growing. They're not doing real well, but they never did bolt. But they will bolt on you if you grow them in the fall. Cauliflower, September 1st, October 1st. Onions, September 1st, November 15th. I like down here planting the seeds because I can get the seeds up, see seeds growing, plant them early, and then try to get those. Try to get them to bulb up fast. If you wait till, January, February, and you get sets, it just takes, or you get the plants, it just takes them harder to overcome the shock, and then start. You don't have a very long window for those onions to get, acclimatized, and then start producing the tops, which would determine how much the bulbs will grow. I always thought English peas is going to be October 1st to November 1st. So you can try that. English peas are hard to grow down here. We have a very short window. And then southern peas is August 1st to September 1st. So you gotta get them in earlier than you do your beans because they can't handle any hot weather. Any cold weather at all. I will tell you a little story about that. I had one that somebody was going to plant a garden, and I told them to go ahead and plant the peas in August, and they know it's too hot, and they didn't get to planting it. And then I went to help them plant the beans, and it was like September 15th, and we planted the beans. He said, well, I've got the peas, can we plant the peas? I said, sure, you can plant the peas, but they're not going to make. He's a friend of mine, so I was being frank with him, And I think they'll make it. I'll just irrigate them. But the irrigation's not the problem. And sure enough, he planted them. They did great. They looked great. They got up nice and big. They even started blooming and looking good to right around Thanksgiving. And I was beginning to think I was going to be wrong. But sure enough, we got a cold snap. And then after that, they didn't look good. He started trying to water them. But like I say, water wasn't the problem. And ended up not making any that year. Beans did great. Made a really good crop of beans. But almost made a liar out of me. But it turned out that, you know, it was right. Summer squash, I'm going to try some of that, I think, this year. Maybe. If it ever stops raining, we're going to do that sometime in August and see if that works. Your tomato transplants, they need to be in the ground now. You know, July 15th, August 1st, and I would say closer to July 15th if the further north you go. So if you're in Central Texas or around Dallas, you want to get them things in. You're probably too late, but you can try it. Unless you got something that can move them in and out. But if you're going to plant them in the ground, that's going to be a problem. So what seeds did I buy? I did buy something out from Haas Tools. They got really good seeds. Maybe a little bit higher than some places, but they do have real good quality. You get real good germination, and they stand behind their products. And they're locally, you know, a family-owned business. So let's rip this open. And I think I ordered these Tuesday, and today's Friday, so I got them in that short of time. The first big one I got, and I always buy a lot of carrot seeds because a quarter pound don't sound like much, but this is a quarter pound. And I did spend a good bit of money on this. It's Corota carrots, and that will be the, you know, I'll have 2 or 3 50-foot rows of this, and hopefully I can keep the weeds out of them, and they'll make. But we're gonna see how they do. And then here's the package. Some of them. And these are in any particular order. First you're gonna look at is gonna be the Texas early white onions. I can't, the place I get the onion sets or onion plants, I don't have them. I will say, if you're going into some place like Tractor Supply or something, they get these little sets or these little, look like miniature onions. Those don't do good well in Texas. So try to get the ones that's got the green parts on them. Try to get them as soon as they come in. If you get them from a feed store, as soon as they get them sets in, try to get them, go ahead and get them planted. Because the longer you wait, the more shock they're going to have. It's going to be harder to get back. This is Asperbrock broccoli, and I'm butchering that name. But basically, it's kind of a cross between asparagus and broccoli. Have no idea how this is going to work. Have never grown it before, so it's going to be something new. The momentum bush bean, grew this a year or so ago, and it did pretty good. I'm going to try them again. Now this one was, to tell on myself, when I first, 3 or 4 years ago, I just got my wheel hoe, and I got the attachment to where it would make the fur yourself. And I went over that fur. I went back and forth, got a nice deep fur. I planted these things, and a total of 1 plant came up. Now I knew these were good seeds, and the fact that they all died like that, except for one, and I got to notice that one was off to the side. Now it says right back here on the back to plant 1 inch deep. I'll probably plant them 3 to 4 inches deep. So don't plant your beans too deep. I didn't even call the company because it wasn't their fault, and I knew it wasn't their fault. But yeah, just don't plant your green beans too deep. But it was, I mean, it dug really well. So I started digging really well, and it really worked nice and got me real deep. And if I was planting potatoes, it'd been great. Hodge Green Blaze bush beans, I planted some this year, and then we got so much rain that it drowned everything out. It was not the beans' fault. All the beans and all the peas got drowned out. So pinto beans and everything. It was and the bad thing about this year, I had some topazio beans I was going to try to grow up for seed beans, and they drowned out too. So I don't have, you know, and that's one I cannot get anymore. But that can happen. Minuteman cauliflower. The reason I planted this cauliflower is it's I think it's 70 days maturity. Thought it was less than that. Anyway, the 7 days to maturity. Godzilla broccoli. It's also 70 days to maturity. It's kind of a newer one. Both those are, I think, heat resistance. I went Sweet Agent Orange, and gonna try this one. I think I've grown it in the past. It's a yellow onion, I believe. Yeah. Purple Magic broccoli. I haven't grown this one before, but I think maybe we have. We ever grown the purple before?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And it's 90 days to maturity, so that would give you a later one. So if I plant them at the same time, now what I plan on doing with the broccoli, I'm gonna plant my first crop, and I'm gonna try to plant one like 3 weeks later and do another crop, so I can have 2 sets of seeds that come out two different times. See how that works. Green Magic, it's 55 days, so it's a really early one. It's also heat resistant, and it's kind of, it does good in spring and fall. It's just a good overall broccoli. If you've never grown broccoli before, I would encourage you to grow Green Magic. Just if you plant a little later, it's only 55 days to maturity, so you know it should make it. Now, suppose that's 55 days from the time you plant the seed, but it takes longer for me. So, okay, I did buy some Cherokee purple tomatoes, but that's not for the fall crop. That's for next year. Flame Star cauliflower, and I spent way too much money for this, but I'm just interested to see how it does. And but you know, like I say, it's 55 days, so she should make quickly, and I like them when they come quick, because again, you're pushing that you're pushing up against wintertime, and wintertime can be unforgiving. The other one I've got, another 80 days, is a graffiti cauliflower, and it looks really pretty too. And like I say, I like to grow some stuff you can't get in the stores, and I don't ever see this in the stores. Twister cauliflower, this is one that you don't have to, if you really want the heads of your cauliflower to stay nice and white, you have to bunch them up and tie them up. With this one, the leaves do it automatically, so you don't have to twist and tie up. Now, I will say that I don't twist or tie up anything I do, because that's too much of a problem. If it turns a little bit yellow, I don't care, but you know, some people do. But it's 75 days to maturity. The cowhorn okra, it's getting a little late to plant the okra. You get in the ground real quick. So I think June 15th is when they say to do it. But you know, it's 55 days maturity. It's going to do fine until the weather breaks. So you know, pushing a little bit, but we'll see. Tahima lettuce. Not quite sure why I bought it, but I don't really have any lettuce seeds, so I thought I'd buy some more. And a lot of times my lettuce goes to feed my Euromastis lizard. I bought some Olympian carrots, because I think they're a bigger carrot, and just try something different. Though I got, you know, a quarter pound of other kind of carrots. The purple tie-dye tomato I'll be growing next year. Like I say, I don't like growing fall tomatoes that much. It's too late now anyway. But if you're going to grow one and you can find a good variety, it's like Florida 91. It's got a heat set gene in it that it'll set fruit even in the hot summer, hopefully. And you know, I'll be trying that. The last one is Gold Mine beans, one of the yellow beans, as you can see. And I started growing these. Like I say, again, it's something you don't see very often. Now, I do want to go back. I know it's been kind of more of this just about seeds. We're going to go over and look at how I redone the raised bed and show you how it's doing. So, Patrick, if you'll pick up the camera and come over this way. And I didn't use my microphone today, and the reason for that is I just forgot about it. Okay, they're doing really well. Nothing I planted this thing has done this well in the last couple of years. See these deals here? Did the dog jump in this?
I do not know.
Just wondered, because it got some weird stuff here. But anyway, but this is growing. This is a celebrity. This here's growing good. And like I say, we've had so much rain, and this whole week we've been in the 80s. One day we stayed in the 70s, so that's why you're seeing a lot of good growth. The thyme is growing really well too, and it's growing real lush. But still, these plants wouldn't have done this without those roots. So, one just word of caution, I guess, if when you're trying to find out a problem that you look at this as being a problem, you try not to spend a bunch of money. I mean, I could have went out there and done soil tests. I could have done all kinds of things of that nature. It was just the roots. Didn't cost me anything. If you're going, it's kind of like working on a car. Try to take the least expensive thing and see if that fixes it. This has fixed this bed. So, you know, I knew I had plenty of fertilizer. I didn't put down some of the Miracle-Gro fertilizer, which I don't put down usually in raised beds. I use it for my pots because they don't have any nutrients in it, but this should have had nutrients in it. I used that. I used nitrogen. Nothing was working, and it was just those roots. And even whenever we get a little bit talkatively, but when I was working in West Texas, where moisture was a premium, on cropland fields you see a row of trees, windbreak, and that were great and they fine, but you would see the crop, and it would be like 200 foot into that field that the crop would start really short and start to build up, and then after about 200 feet it'd level off. And all it was that trees were sucking the moisture and nutrients out of that soil, and was stunting all those plants. So that's what was happening here. That's what I figured was going to happen. So if you do have big trees or whatever around, and I've got a bunch of them, that can be a problem. But anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully we won't wash away. See you next time.